Hey there, listeners! Welcome back to Learn English with Podcast. I'm Maria, and today we're tackling one of the biggest challenges many of us face: procrastination.
That's right, Maria. I'm Luca, and let me tell you, I've been there. Putting things off until the last minute, thinking, I'll get to it later. But later never comes, right?
Exactly. Procrastination is something we all struggle with at some point. Whether it's avoiding tasks or just feeling overwhelmed, it can hold us back from reaching our potential, especially when it comes to learning English.
And that's why we're here today, to not only talk about how to stop procrastination, but also to give you some practical tips to beat it once and for all.
And stay tuned because at the end of the episode, we've got something exciting for you: a self-assessment test. It'll help you understand your procrastination habits and give you useful insights to improve both your productivity and your English.
Don't forget to drop your scores in the comments, and let's see who's been able to beat procrastination. Now let's dive in. Ever find yourself binge-watching shows instead of tackling that looming deadline?
Or scrolling through social media when there's a mountain of work waiting?
We all been there. Today, let's dive into why we procrastinate and how to break the habit.
Let's break it down. Procrastination is when we delay tasks, even though we know it's going to bite us later.
So, it's like choosing to binge-watch a series instead of tackling that work project, knowing full well we'll regret it tomorrow?
Exactly. It's not just poor time management. It's a complex issue involving self-regulation and emotion management. We often opt for immediate comfort over long-term benefits.
Makes sense. It's like our brains are wired to seek instant gratification, even if it means trouble down the road.
Right? Understanding this can help us develop strategies to overcome it. Let's dig into why we procrastinate. It's not just about being lazy. There's more beneath the surface.
Absolutely. Sometimes, it's about avoiding tasks we find unpleasant or boring. Ever delayed doing your taxes because it feels like a chore?
Definitely. That's called task aversiveness. We put off tasks that seem unappealing, opting for more enjoyable activities instead.
Then there's fear of failure or criticism, like not starting a project because you worried it won't be good enough.
Exactly. Anxiety can paralyze us, making it hard to begin. Perfectionism plays a role here too. If we can't do it perfectly, we hesitate to start at all.
And let's not forget feeling overwhelmed. When a task seems too big, it's tough to know where to begin, so we don't.
Right. Breaking tasks into smaller steps can help. Also, our brains crave instant gratification. We choose immediate pleasures, like watching TV, over long-term goals.
So, it's about managing our emotions and impulses to stay on track.
Yes, understanding these psychological factors is key to overcoming procrastination.
Okay, so we know procrastination is a problem, but what's the real cost of putting things off?
Oh, it's huge. Procrastination isn't just about missing deadlines. It can lead to major stress and anxiety. Ever felt that weight of a task hanging over your head?
Oh, for sure. The longer I wait, the more I panic about it. I start imagining all the ways it could go wrong.
Exactly. And that's because we tend to catastrophize. Imagine the worst possible outcome. That just makes the task feel even more daunting.
So, it's like the stress keeps building the longer we avoid it?
Yes. And it doesn't just affect our mental health. Procrastination can also mess with our physical health. It can lead to insomnia, headaches, and even lower immunity because of all the stress.
Great, now I'm stressed about being stressed. But seriously, it's not just about our health, right? It can damage relationships and work performance too.
Exactly. If we procrastinate on commitments or work, it affects those around us. And the more we delay, the more we feel guilty, which just makes us avoid the task even more.
So, it's this vicious cycle we get stuck in?
Yep, and the more we procrastinate, the harder it is to break free. But recognizing the impact is the first step in changing the habit. Let's recap the vocabularies. First is catastrophize refers to imagine or expect the worst possible outcome. Second is task aversiveness, means avoiding tasks you find boring or unpleasant. Third is instant gratification, means wanting quick pleasure or rewards instead of waiting for a better outcome later. Alright, we've all been there, putting off tasks until the last minute. But how do we break this cycle?
Well, one effective strategy is the 2-minute rule. If a task takes 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. It prevents small tasks from piling up.
That's a great one. Another approach is to set clear goals and priorities. Break larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps and tackle them based on urgency and importance.
Absolutely, and creating a structured schedule can work wonders. Allocate specific time slots for different tasks and stick to your schedule as closely as possible.
Right? Also, minimizing distractions is key. Identify what's pulling your attention away and eliminate those distractions to maintain focus.
And don't forget to find your motivation. Whether it's a reward after completing a task or visualizing the sense of accomplishment, tapping into what drives you can help overcome procrastination.
Exactly. Remember, it's about taking small, consistent steps toward your goals. Overcoming procrastination is a process, but with these strategies, it's definitely achievable.
Maria, let's be real for a second. We've all procrastinated at some point, right? What's your experience with it?
Oh, for sure. I've had my fair share of putting things off. What I noticed is that I often procrastinated when I felt overwhelmed or unsure about the task.
I get that. I'd put off things I thought were too big to handle. But then I realized it was the fear of starting, not the task itself, that was holding me back.
Exactly. Once I broke things down into smaller chunks, it was way easier to tackle them one step at a time. And I found that the longer I delayed, the harder it became.
I know that feeling. It's like the weight of procrastination just keeps growing the longer you ignore it. But once you start, it's usually not as bad as you think.
Right? And celebrating small wins along the way keeps the momentum going. It's all about creating positive habits that push you forward.
I've learned it's okay to take small steps as long as you're moving forward. And hey, progress is progress. All right, Maria, we've got some listener questions coming in. Let's tackle them.
Let's do it. First question. How do I stay focused when I'm surrounded by distractions?
Classic. My advice, set a timer. Focus for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. It's called the Pomodoro technique. It helps keep distractions at bay.
I love that one. Another tip is to put your phone on Do Not Disturb mode, or even leave it in another room while working. Out of sight, out of mind.
Great point. Next question. What if I don't know where to start?
That's tough, but just start with the easiest task on your list. Get a little momentum going, and then tackle the bigger tasks.
Exactly. Starting is half the battle. And if you're feeling stuck, don't be afraid to ask for help. It can really make a difference.
Right, and remember, perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Keep moving forward, even if it's just a little at a time.
Great tips, Maria. And to our listeners, keep those questions coming and don't let procrastination hold you back.
Let's recap the vocabularies. First is Pomodoro technique refers to a time management method where you work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. Second is momentum means the feeling of moving forward or gaining speed in a task. Third is overwhelmed means feeling stressed or unable to manage everything. All right, Luca, we've covered a lot today. Procrastination isn't easy to beat, but with the right strategies, we can all make progress.
Absolutely. It's all about taking small steps, finding your motivation, and staying focused. Remember, progress is progress, no matter how small.
And don't forget, listeners, take that self-assessment test we mentioned earlier. It'll help you understand your procrastination patterns and give you a starting point for improvement.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Keep taking action, and you'll be surprised at what you can achieve.
Until next time, keep moving forward. All right, listeners, it's time for the self-assessment test. Ready to see how your English skills are doing? Take a moment to answer the questions and don't forget to share your score in the comments below. Now, the last question is a tricky one. If you get it right, I'll be cheering you on in the comments. But if it's wrong, no worries. I'll drop the correct answer to help you improve. So let's get started. Answer honestly and share your score with us. I can't wait to see how you do.
Thank you for watching. Your journey to better English and unstoppable confidence starts here. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep growing together. See you in the next video, champion.